Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening all, I'm Shashina Rule. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, a prominent figure within the Grand Bahama community has died. Businessman Sir Albert Miller, who held many positions within the local community over the years, including president and co-chairman of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, passed away at his home in Freeport around 4:30 this afternoon following a long illness. Sir Albert, who was known for his passion to see the city of Freeport grow and develop, retired from the Port Authority back in 2003. And following Hurricane Francis, which devastated the island in 2004, he was asked by the late chairman Edward St. George to come out of retirement for a few months to assist with the restoration process. Now, Sir Albert died at the age of 89. Stay tuned to ZNS News for continued coverage on the life and legacy of the business icon, Sir Albert Miller. In other news, Grand Bahama's only resort casino reportedly still experiencing challenges with its air conditioning unit. Tonight, the Minister of Tourism, the Honorable Obi Wolshcombe, is addressing the issue. Italia Hall has the story.
Employees at the Treasure Bay Casino have reportedly been working in less than favorable conditions due to problems with the air conditioning unit. While the Minister for Grand Bahama and the Member of Parliament for East Grand Bahama have weighed in on the situation, the Minister responsible for gaming, the Honorable Obi Wolshcombe, is now addressing the issue.
I think it's totally unacceptable. If the casino has an air conditioning problem, then it ought to have been repaired by now. If it's not repaired by now, then the staff certainly should be not subjected to any sort of difficulties, and nor should the tourists. I'm going to visit there today to see what's going on. We'll make a decision or advance some views to help them make a decision so we can make sure our people work in comfort and our tourists can enjoy the casino in comfort.
Now, while the powers that be focus on making working conditions better for casino employees, Minister Wolshcombe notes that efforts are also being made to find a suitable operator for the gaming facility.
The present operator is working month to month because we were delaying the process because we were in negotiations for a potential purchaser of the hotel in Freeport, but that's up and down, and so we were asked to wait. This past week I spoke with the Hotel Corporation because I think now is the time that we take another step, because we want to put in that a brand that's working, and I think you can get a better brand now because the business is moving better now. I think Grand Bahama needs brands, and needs brands that's going to attract people, because if we continue to work the way we are, getting the airlift that we want, it will be enhanced by having a brand that people want to come to.
He says they are hoping to find an operator soon, as the casino is a key player in the growth and development of the island.
We're hoping to be able to find confirm the operator that has already put in their documentation. They paid a fee and the rest. We're still looking to see if that's going to be the one we go with, or we're going to find one that we believe that will be better for the community of Grand Bahama.
Italia Hall, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Italia. While the redevelopment of a once thriving tourism center still ranks high on the Grand Bahama Port Authority's agenda. According to President at the Grand Bahama Port Authority, Ian Roll, there are some potential projects being explored for the redevelopment of the International Bazaar. Roll says there is also a possibility that it could lead to the reopening of a major thoroughfare.
I really do see that area being revitalized. I think more in the mid-term, not the short term. The current model that exists at that site now, it does not work. We have a few ideas in regards to what can go there, and we're going to do our very, very best to cause these particular projects in that area to come to fruition as well.
And the road reopening?
Yeah, I mean, I'm in agreement for the road to be reopened. I think everybody in the Port Authority, we also have no issues with the road reopening either.
Now, Roll says while the plans of a major investor in this area has not been revealed, he is optimistic about other potential investments taking off.
The road was closed as a result of their vision for that particular area, and the hotel is now closed, etc. So it's open for discussion for anything new to cause this economy to be more vibrant than it is now.
In other news, a Grand Bahama family making a significant investment in the local economy. Tonight, the CEO talks about how the expansion of the business has created employment opportunities for others, and she hopes that it will fill a niche on this island. The investment was over $1 million, and according to CEO Tanisha Pyfrom, the risk was worth the reward. Pyfrom says Printmasters was opened back in 2011, and just 4 years later, despite a sluggish economy, she and her husband saw the need to expand, and they did.
It was a challenge because, I spoke to certain persons and I asked them, it's like, look, what do you think about us expanding in a time like this? It's like, oh, no, don't do it. Freeport economy is too, bad at this moment. But, my husband, he's kind of a person who's more of a business bulldog. So he's like, look, take a shot at it. So we took a shot of it. And, here we are now expanding.
With that, they invested over $1 million to construct a corporate plaza. Printmasters specializes in printing but now carries office and school supplies as well. Pyfrom says a number of persons were hired, some of whom have been trained in the printing industry.
With the expansion, we have hired some, let's say 50 persons, inclusive of the construction and online staff. The expansion has cost us a little over $1.2 million. That's inclusive of the building and also our inventory.
But she says it was also important to add a web, cafe, and a research center, as well as a deli. She says they have also started a new initiative that includes students.
Since the expansion, we have seen an increase with students coming in and taking advantage of the web cafe. We also have implemented a book club. We're going to have students coming in and reading the book, answering questions, and we'll probably even reward them after the reading of the book.
Pyfrom says while many believe that this is not the time to invest in Grand Bahama's economy, she begs to differ and challenges other business-minded persons to follow their dreams and help to stimulate the local economy.
I remember back in the day, my mom told me about the Magic City, and hopefully that this Magic City would come back to life. But I took a shot at it, and so far it's going really well.
Well, it's an historic time for the island of Cuba and our neighbors to the north, the United States. The highly controversial reestablishment of the diplomatic relations and the reopening of the United States Embassy in Cuba, the focus as an official ceremony was held in Havana. The event follows last month's reopening of the Cuban Embassy in Washington, D.C. Many are giving their take on what this could mean, including a United States attorney. John Davis Roll reports.
Though hundreds of miles away, all eyes were on Cuba. It was an historic day in bilateral relations for the United States and Cuba as the United States Embassy reopened in Havana Friday morning, more than 4.5 decades after its closure. United States-based attorney Donald Russell Love, in a recent interview with ZNS News, says the handwriting is on the wall in the wake of this wave of change. She says the reestablishing of diplomatic relations between the two rival nations is indeed significant.
There's great concern about Cuba opening up across the Caribbean. It's the good part about it is, the open trade and doing business without really having, stress from the United States, and this is concerning the Bahamas. However, as far as tourism is concerned, that worries me because right now we say our primary source of income is tourism, but it's really our only main source of income. And so now we have to share that dollar with Cuba. And that is, if you're not concerned, you should be. And, I think the Bahamas is going to have to step it up a little bit in ways that they never really had to before because we were considered the pearl.
With travel to this island nation opening up more, she noted that this could have a domino effect. She's challenging persons involved in the hospitality industry here in the Bahamas to not only meet the expectations of visitors, but exceed them.
We need to step up our customer service a little bit, just do a little bit more. And generally, Bahamians are very hospitable. I think the newer generation doesn't really understand the value of tourism to our country. I think we need to emphasize that more and train them better on how to be hospitable and how to be, just friendlier and warmer to the people, because people come back when people are nice. But I think definitely we need to place a greater emphasis on training our new generation on how valuable tourism is to us and, how to make people want to come back.
Joan Davis Roll, ZNS Network News.
In news from the education beat, the Freeport Container Port presenting scholarships to 3 public school students. These students will be able to complete their high school education at the Bishop Michael Eldon School. The recipients are Nashawn Jones of Jack Hayward Junior High, Charlencia Forbes of 8 Mile Walk, and Samia Rampersad of Sister Mary Patricia Junior High. Now, earlier this year, students were invited to submit their credentials and an essay to the Hutchison Port Holdings Business Unit's Scholarship Committee Board, and in what has been described as an extremely tight competition, Jones, Forbes, and Rampersad topped a significant number of candidates. 3 runners-up were also selected and given cutting-edge laptops as consolation prizes. They are David Major of Jack Hayward Jr., Cody Roll of 8 Mile Walk, and LaShawna Williams of Sister Mary Patricia Junior High School. Now, the Container Port CEO Godfrey Smith says the scholarships and prizes serve as a further testament of the Container Port's commitment to the positive growth and development of the nation's youth, noting that they are extremely impressed by the high standards, tremendous quality of work, and achievements of the students. Smith also notes that he is optimistic and confident that based on the determination and goal-oriented vision outlined by the scholarship winners, they will all take full advantage of the opportunities being presented and will do well at Bishop Michael Eldon School and beyond. Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, continues right after this.
Bringing news that matters to you. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition.
Welcome back. A massive fire in a major commercial district on Grand Bahama Monday afternoon, leaving behind tens of thousands of dollars in damage. And as Kimberly Mullings tells us, fire officials worked well into the evening.
A thick cloud of black smoke could be seen over the Queens Highway area for hours on Monday due to a massive fire in the bonded area. Head of the fire department, Assistant Superintendent Ernest Hanna.
Around about 3:25, we received information about a fire on the Queens Highway at the rear of Kent Motors, which is a car dump, it appears to be, and we responded initially with 2 of our units. And we had to call in other 2 units along with our officers, on and off duty officers, to assist with the blaze.
The massive blaze forced police to cordon off the area during rush hour around 5 p.m. and traffic had to be diverted. ASP Hanna added that in addition to the fire department and the staff of Kent Motors, Corporate Grand Bahama also pitched in to assist the fire department.
4 trucks from the city fire department. We also had from the airport, and our other partners from Container Port also eventually came and assisted us with their equipment and manpower.
Sanitation services also helping with a tractor to move debris. Grand Bahama Power Company was also on the scene to secure the area. It took 4 hours for fire officials to contain the blaze. This was due in part to the lack of proper working fire hydrants in the area and low water pressure.
We relayed water from a very far distance, maybe about 1,000 feet. We had to relay water from, and that caused us some problem with the pressure. The hydrant was not given initially sufficient pressure for us, but like I said again, because of our partners that came in and assisted us, we were able to bring the fire under control.
Manager of Kent Motors Dave Atkinson says given the resources and circumstances under which the fire department worked, he was pleased with their efforts.
They had to run water from all the way up to BAF, which take a lot of time, and so that caused the fire to fuel, but given the resources they have, they've been doing a good job.
Management of Kent Motors estimated that the fire caused between $50,000 to $80,000 of damage at that establishment. Kimberly Mullings, ZNS Network News.
Thanks, Kim. A Grand Bahama man who was wanted by police is now behind bars. 28-year-old Theo Leon Astwood of Hillary Avenue, Freeport, was wanted by police for questioning in connection with a stolen vessel. An all-points bulletin was issued for Astwood last week, and police say he was arrested by officers of the Eastern Division on Monday. Meantime, the family of a Grand Bahama man who went missing on August 8th are still searching for him, and they're commending police officers for their efforts after 2 people were formally charged in connection with his disappearance. Megan Shepard has more.
1 week after 43-year-old Keith Russell Cooper was reported missing, a mother and a daughter were hauled before the court in connection with his disappearance. 34-year-old Emma Jane Fitzgerald and 55-year-old Claudette Smith were charged with murder and conspiracy to commit murder. Keith's family members were among a crowd of onlookers gathered outside the courthouse on Monday morning. His father, Lloyd Cooper, is commending police officers for their efforts in trying to bring closure to the case.
I must say that the detective, them never dropped the ball. They pick it up from day one. We just say now, we have been looking for him now for 7 days straight. And when I'm saying looking for him by air and sea, and we are prepared to look and tell. His body must be found. So this evening we're going to do the same thing. We need to have his body.
Cooper says while the situation has been extremely difficult to deal with, he is thankful to family and friends both near and far who have reached out to give support.
The support that the Cooper's family have gotten from all over, people who couldn't be present, people I haven't heard from in 20 years, so that makes me feel good. The people ask me, Mr. Cooper, man, hey, how you going on? I said, man, hey, the strength of others. And somebody will say, man, hey, I feel your pain. You like that.
Cooper says his son left behind 6 children who are heartbroken over his disappearance. He says the family will continue to search the island until Keith is found. Smith and Fitzgerald were denied bail and remanded to Her Majesty's Prison until December 7th. Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
And now it's time to ask the doctor.
Hi, I'm Dr. Monique Pratt. Cece from Freeport asked, I've had this mole on my left shoulder for years, but last week my boyfriend told me that it looked bigger. Should I be concerned? Thanks for your question, Cece. Moles are very common, especially on those areas of the body that are constantly exposed to the sun, like your face, ears, neck, and arms. Most people have at least one skin mole. They're usually brown or black and can be present from childhood, or they can first appear on the skin from your young adulthood or in 30s or 40s. They can get larger over time or not change at all. There are 2 types of moles. The first type appears at birth and are called congenital nevi, which are smaller. The second type is called dysplastic nevi. These are larger, have a more even color, and have a higher risk of becoming a melanoma, which is a more serious form of skin cancer. In general, most moles are non-cancerous. However, if a mole changes in size and appearance, then yes, you should be concerned and you should schedule an appointment with a dermatologist, a skin specialist, as soon as possible. Do you have a question or concerned about your health? Please email askthedrbahamas@gmail.com. I'm Dr. Monique Pratt, and this has been Ask the Doctor.
Stay with us. I'll have a check on sports when we return. Topping sports, the Pinedale Community Fritz Forbes basketball court was officially named in honor of the man who has given selflessly to the 8 Mahwah community and Grand Bahama at large. Kimberly Mullings was at that ceremony.
During his most recent visit home, Shavano Buddy Heald, sharing his talent, hosted a basketball camp in 8 Mile Rock for the community. The 8 Mile Rock native, filled with emotions, publicly thanked the community during the closing ceremony of the camp for their continuous support and recalled the role Fritz Forbes played in his life as a young boy.
I just really appreciate it, and I see all the love you all have for us and have for me, and especially Fritz. You know, it wasn't for Fritz I probably wouldn't be playing basketball today, but I just thank you all. You know, thank Fritz and his family, and Miss Lila, and everybody, and his Fritz mom, and everybody, and I just, you know, appreciate what Fritz done for me, and you know, just not for me, but everybody who's in sports.
Heald, the Big 12 Conference Basketball Player of 2015 and senior at the University of Oklahoma, also recounted his humble beginnings on the court.
Thank God for giving me the opportunity to showcase my talent over in the stage and chase my dream, and you know, this park helped me a lot to work on my game myself. You know, I had to upgrade from Crate Court to the park, so it was a blessing to be in there.
Rosine Cooper, former chief counselor for the area, recalls the hard work Fritz Forbes did to build the community of West Grand Bahama as a whole. He found the renaming of the park in Forbes' honor fitting.
If there is any doubt in anyone's mind that this park should not be, or have any questions or queries, you ask a body healed. It says to us that if you have a dream and a vision for your children, even if only one succeed, you would have succeeded.
The audience gathered around the gazebo as Forbes' mother cut the ribbon, and the park was officially renamed the Pinedale Community Fritz Forbes Basketball Court, featuring pictures of the man known for having such a great heart and buddy. Kimberly Mullings, ZNSO Sports.
Well, the Katina Port Stackers have earned the right to play for the YMCA Commercial Basketball League title. Last night at the Jack Hayward Gym, the Stackers defeated Statoil 61-58 for the championship bid. Tad Martin netted 14 points, Clemente Martin 14, Ricardo Bethel led all scores with 19, Marco Cooper canned 15 points. The championships will start Wednesday and will feature the Katina Port Stackers and the Gym Rats. The regular season MVP honor issued to Robert Joseph of the Katina Port. Memories Chris Turnquest, the defensive player, and the comeback play of the season is the Gym Rats' Jameek Pitt, and the coach is Trevor Smith of the Stackers. And that's your check on sports.